Welcome to Midnight Menu Plus One. I'm Ray Canada.
And I'm Margot Moss. Midnight Menu Plus One is a food lifestyle show on the podcast network itsneworleans.com. Brought to us tonight by Petite Pet Care. While you're at work or on vacation, you don't have to board your pet. He can stay in the comfort of his own home. For loving care when you're not there, Petite Pet Care. Find them at petitepetcare.com.
Now, each week on Midnight Menu Plus One, Margot and I invite a member of New Orleans restaurant and food community to join us, and we invite them to bring along their own guest, a plus one. We never know who the plus one's going to be. Sometimes it's a friend, a neighbor, a fellow restaurant colleague, a family member. Well, tonight we're at Salu on Magazine Street, one of our favorite places, and our special guest tonight on Midnight Menu Plus One will be Chef Dustin Brien. Very excited about that. Before he arrives, I just wanted to mention just one of my food experiences this week, Margot, is kind of different
what's
to me.
that?
Kind of made me think about New Orleans and what a unique place this was. Our church had its annual Christmas party, and we had Gal Holiday was playing. It was just this wonderful event. But the chili cook-off was just, it's a bunch of people from church making chili at a church cookout. I mean, how wonderful can that be? Well, it exceeded all expectations. I don't know why this place continues to surprise me so much, and I never see it coming. But there were 13 chilies offered, and I'd say about 12 of them were mind-blowing. They were just great. There was like a curry Indian chili that was great. There was like a gumbo chili that was great. I mean, really, really amazing. And mine won spiciest. I was very, very excited. I kind of made a big scene about it. And then I took pictures of myself curl up in bed with my trophy when I got home. And but anyway, that was that was the standout food experience. It was at the Redeemer Presbyterian Church chili cook-off. Would you believe it? But anyway.
Sounds wonderful.
Yes. I wish I'll bring you a sample of my chili next time. Well, Margot, looks like our special guest is here. Chef Dustin Brien of Salu, welcome. So glad to have you here with us.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And we are taping from
Salu.
From
my restaurant Salu, yes.
Yes. Chef Brien is the executive chef here, correct? And how long have you been here at Salu?
I have been both at Salu and in New Orleans for only 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
And where did you come from?
I am a true blue blood Bostonian.
Really?
Yeah.
How come you don't have the
I met
caw,
I got
accent?
it.
You got it?
I got the accent. I can turn it on and I can turn it off. But yeah, in Boston, I met my wife, who's a NOLA girl, and we were getting married and we wanted to get out of the Boston horrible weather, and it was like, well, let's go to NOLA.
And obviously you had visited with her.
Yeah, we used
to
come down. We would come down every year, once or twice a year, just on a weekend. We would just get on a plane, come down, just to come down. It's just we loved the city so much,
Did you have to twist her arm a little bit more than?
No,
than
not
yours?
at all. I mean, it was my idea to move down here, but once I said it, she was just kind of like, "Oh yeah, why didn't I think of that? Like that's the obvious choice. Like let's do it. Let's go."
And what did she do? How'd you guys meet?
We met. She was my bartender. I was a sous chef. She was my bartender, and she actually made me date her.
How'd that happen?
Because I was management, so I was like, well, no, I won't. I can't. It's against the rules. And she was like, no, well, too bad. You're taking me out, and you're gonna like it.
Nice, strong woman.
Yeah, she's a very, very strong woman. And now she's actually the assistant manager of both this restaurant, Salu, and our sister restaurant across the street, Arana.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
So before, I want to hear a little bit more about your culinary background.
Yeah.
When were you first introduced to the culinary business?
So I started working in the business when I was 14. I started as a dishwasher and a short order brunch cook, just doing eggs and whatnot for a corporate place at Hewlett-Packard in Andover, Massachusetts. And from there, I just kept moving on. I went from there on to a local seafood place.
Is that legal, by the way, to be working at 14 in Massachusetts?
It is legal if you have your parents' permission. You have to have your
preparing food and everything. You're allowed to do that at 14.
As long as you have documented parents' permission, it is allowed. So I did that, and from there I moved on to a seafood restaurant. where I went in there, started as dishwasher, moved up to, cutting fresh fish for customers coming in to get that at the market, and then
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Filleting
I really
fish.
liked that. I learned a lot because it was.
Did you ever get the smell out? Did you smell like
No.
fish all the time?
No, you don't. When you work in a
24/7,
fish
smell like-
market,
you smell like fish.
smell like fish
Just
all
gets
the
in the
time.
So you were in
crevices of your
high school
nails
at the
and-
time?
Yeah, I was in high school.
That didn't do much for your dating life, though, probably.
Thank God I already had a committed girlfriend, because otherwise I'd have been very lonely. Yeah, you don't get the smell out. It's there. It's in everything you own. It's in your hands.
Although I
it's in
could see
your
some
hair.
advantages, right? Like covering up cigarette smell and other stuff, maybe, Seems like it would be overpowering. So
No,
your parents
it just-
would know all the stuff you're doing.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
No,
like,
it just blends with it and makes it
blends,
grosser.
It makes it worse. Makes it worse.
Are you talking from experience? Did you get busted while?
Yeah, I definitely got busted for underage smoking. It happens, I mean, you get in
You're
the
like,
business, you
you're
start.
making me work.
Yeah,
It could be worse.
You get in the business, you start hanging out with the guys that are professionals in the business, and it's a business. Kitchens are full of pirates. Everybody curses and has a knife. That's what
and
we
steals. So did it put you off from fish? Did you?
No, not at all. Seafood is still my favorite thing in the world.
Ah.
As a matter of fact, if anything, it turned me more on to seafood. So from there, I went and I did. I kept in the business for a while. I went to business actually for audio engineering. Is what I went to actually school for college out of high school, and I hated it. And I was like, well, I like cooking, so I changed colleges and I went to culinary school, and it turned out I was really good at it.
Huh.
Now, did you work while you were in culinary school
Yeah,
as well?
full time.
Is that part of the curriculum, or
No,
that
it
was
wasn't
your choice?
at all. I was a full-time student and I was a full-time line cook, so I was pulling 95-hour weeks.
Wow, you must have really been passionate about it.
I was
young.
tired. Is what I was. I was tired. No, but I was committed to it. I was very committed to it.
Were your parents supportive, or were they?
They were very supportive, like driving me because I had to take a train to Boston every day for it, take the commuter rail. So they picked me up, dropped me off every morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. They were up with me, bringing me to the train station. So they were very supportive of the entire endeavor. And they still are to this day. My biggest fans are my parents.
Were they supportive of y'all moving to New Orleans, or is there?
They weren't happy about it, but they knew it was the right decision for me, and for me and Lauren, my wife. It was what we needed to do for us, and so they were supportive of that. They weren't supportive of the only fact that they didn't want me to move. I mean, they're my parents. They don't want their kid to move 1,500 miles away.
Yeah.
All
right. Now let me ask you. So, how did you get from? And it wasn't a scary transition going from Boston, because a little further along, you were doing very well in Boston in the culinary.
I was doing very, very well. Very well.
Well respected and had won.
Yeah.
Some,
had a couple
come on,
accolades.
brag on yourself a little bit.
Yeah, you're working with Stephen Sherman, right? And won a bunch of awards in Boston. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I was Steve Sherman at Union Bar and Grill. He really is still my chef. He's the only person I still really consider my chef to this day. He taught me pretty much everything. I worked with him for 8 years. I started for him for a line cook. I took a demotion to actually get the job to work for him. But I took it, and he really took me under his wing and taught me everything. And we won, a couple Best of Boston awards for American Restaurant, a couple for Best Brunch, a couple for General Excellence, just restaurants in general. We really, really worked hard. I worked a lot of hours, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears went into that job. But I mean, the man he's one of my best friends. But it was definitely a friendship and everything learned in fire,
Now, what would be non-restaurant, like as a mentor, were there things about life that he...
Yeah, when I was trying to make the decision to move down here, he's the only person I actually talked to about it. I pulled him aside and I was like, look, I have this huge decision, and I need you to help me make it. I was like, I don't know what to do. But I know he had in his career, he lived and trained at Arzac in Spain, Fernand Adria. He trained in some of these incredible world-renowned Michelin star chefs. And he traveled all over the world and done it with his wife. So I was like, well, what do you think? This is what I'm trying to do. I'm thinking about moving. But, I know right now, he and I were in the restaurant we were at. We were trying to rescue this restaurant. I was like, I don't want to screw you and leave you. And he was like, you know what? You got to do it. It's going to be great for you. You're going to come out of there, and your career is going to be unstoppable. So just go do it. Don't worry about it. Get out of here. And
lovely.
Yeah, he was the first person I invited to my wedding.
Yeah.
He was the first person to
Has
get
he come down
invite.
and visited you since you've been here?
He's got a couple small kids, so
Yeah.
he has
Probably hard to get away.
Yeah, it's hard to get away. So he came down for the wedding because we got married here.
All right.
At St. Louis. So he was here for the wedding.
You got married in St. Louis Cathedral?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's like a 3-year wait, isn't it? How'd you do that?
My wife's father was a first responder after Katrina, so we kind of got skipped.
Ah. All right.
We got bumped up on the list on that. He was one of the first people at St. Louis to help them out. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so what has your experience been like? How did you hook up with Salu?
That's a funny story. After the wedding, I decided I was taking a month off. So we moved down here. I take a month off. And when I started job hunting, I found it was really difficult because a lot of New Orleans restaurants don't hire people from outside of New Orleans. So I was having a bit of a hard time, and my wife's cousin happens to be a regular here and knows the owners. And so he was like, oh, well, Salu is hiring people, So she was like, all right. So she tells me about it. I'm like, all right. I checked the place out on the internet. Looked like a cool restaurant. I was like, all right, I'll go check it out. So I came down. I met the owner. I interviewed. And the owner thought I was coming down to interview for a line cook position.
Huh.
And I show up in a full suit with my resume and, and he was like, what? You're not a line cook. I was like, oh, no, I was told this is a chef position. He was like, we were told you were coming down for a line cook. I was like, oh, no. And so he calls my cousin up, well, my wife's cousin, and he's like, you're an idiot. And he's like, you brought me a chef. You didn't bring me a line cook. This guy is like a full-blown acclimated chef that you told me was coming in for a line cook interview. So it was really funny, and we interviewed, and we went through a couple of interviews, and I did a stage.
Did they already have a chef then?
They
were
had
looking
one
for a
that
chef. They had one, right?
They had one that they were about to hire.
Ah.
It happened to be an intern, but they had a chef they were about to hire.
So it became
So he hates your guts.
competitive.
Yeah, whoever
Have we had him on our show? Who's that?
whomever he is, I apologize. He probably doesn't like me. But yeah, and then they ended up picking me instead, and it's been great ever since. We've been doing nothing
Well,
but
this sounds
making
like
progress.
it's meant to be.
Yeah, it's been amazing so far.
And how open? I'm kind of ignorant, so you have to help me. When you come in as an executive chef, even though you're coming in, how willing is the environment to just do what? I mean, what does that look like? Do you wait and introduce
That's
things?
going to be different between every single restaurant.
Okay.
Every restaurant, every atmosphere. Because when you go in, you really have to read everybody. You have to read, what's the front of the house like? What are the servers like? What's the general manager like? What are the line cooks like is a big thing. Are they willing to learn? Are they set in their ways? What kind of guys are they? Because, your line cooks become your family. You're here, 60, 70 hours a week. All you spend is your time with your cooks. And so you have to have those relationships with them. So that was really all I focused on when I first took the job was, well, let's set the front of the house aside, and let me just come in here and read the cooks and read the sous chef, because the sous chef wasn't going anywhere. He was here. He was a staple of the restaurant, and he was amazing. and we're still really good friends to this day, as a matter of fact.
But he's not here anymore?
No, he moved to Seattle. He got a really great job offer running the Seattle Mariners stadium kitchen. So he left, but the cooks was my priority in getting to know them.
Well, it looks like your plus one is here, and we recognize him. He's been a guest on our show before. Welcome back, Chef Richard Papier.
Glad to be here, guys.
Yeah, of Arana.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome. So good to have you.
So, will you share with us why you brought Chef Papier and why you think he's such a debonair, fantastic guy? And
Well,
I'm sorry, I'm projecting.
He didn't say anything about that. What are you talking about?
Lie. Tell them all lies.
when I started here, Rich was actually working here. He was working as a sous chef, but I kind of knew of him, and I knew of his history, so I never treated him as a sous chef. I always treated him as a peer.
Oh, that's nice.
Because he's above that station, in my opinion. He always has been. So he worked here for a while until we got, as a company, until we got Arana off the ground. That's what he was doing. It was like we were trying to make sure.
Arana's part of the same group.
Is that
the Three of a Kind?
Yes, Three of a Kind restaurant group.
Are there other restaurants in that group besides the two?
Yeah, they also own Byblos. They own a Burger Barn in Atlanta, Zaya, which is on a couple college campuses. They have 9 total restaurants that they own and operate.
But the 3 in New Orleans then? Byblos, Salu, and Arana?
Technically there's 4 because there's 2 Byblos. There's a Byblos at Lakeside and one at Tulane.
Oh, there's one in the mall. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the market.
And the Byblos
market.
but that's
awesome. Huh?
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that doesn't count because it's Metairie?
It doesn't count as New Orleans. It's Metairie.
Yeah, well, that's how the mall is too. I only know about that because of the Apple Store.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, otherwise I'd never go. Yeah.
Come on now.
Byblos is very good though. I enjoy the one on Magazine Street.
Yeah. So, Rich, we kind of kept Rich on as a sous chef here because we didn't want to lose him. Pretty much, it was like, well, we'll take
So
you
you
on.
made a whole restaurant just for him?
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
I'm that good. No, I'm just kidding.
his Mexican food really is that good. It really is the most authentic, amazing. I've been to Mexico several times, and
We're very, very big Arana fans on the show. Yeah.
Yes.
it's
I went and loved it.
I'm glad you
Loved
liked
it.
Great.
So, Chef Richard, sorry. If I say that, you'll
like we're both gonna be like,
knockheads.
yes.
So, you were working here before you worked. You
Open Arana.
Arana,
The whole
right?
reason why I came over here was basically we were getting ready to do Arana.
Oh, you
and
knew it was all in the works.
It was all in
Okay.
the works, and in order to keep me on the payroll and also make it beneficial to me, I came in, just kind of hung out, helped out until they found a chef, and until we found Dustin, which was a perfect fit for us. He's done a great job for this restaurant too. And we were going to do it in another location. That didn't work out in the beginning, and then we moved into the old Byblos location, which is perfect because it's very intimate and small, and it feels right. So it was a good thing we waited a little while in order to do that one.
And y'all kind of have, it's nice because you can feel it, that there's a camaraderie. And so do the restaurants.
Without a doubt. I mean,
Lots of respect.
even
for
outside
this
of
guy.
work, Rich and I are really good friends.
Yeah.
Which helps a lot. Because
And do y'all's, the employees and stuff, do y'all
We-
share the same culture? Like,
we don't anymore. When it was Byblos over there was a lot of that. But when Arana opened, I think Rich and I both kind of discouraged it
Yeah.
because it caused a lot of tension
okay.
between the two restaurants, as to what cook was going to work at what restaurant on what day, when it was busy. Well, I need them. Well, now I need them. Well, I need them.
Right.
Yeah. That makes
Also,
sense.
it's very
Have your
different.
own
Very
stuff.
different styles too, right? I mean,
It's
Arana
extremely
is like
different.
very, very authentic Mexican,
Right.
and prides itself on that. And then Byblos is Middle Eastern. And how would you characterize Salu, by the way?
We're a bistro. We're a European bistro.
Okay,
That's what we are. We're comfort food. We're simple ingredients.
but you're not the Mexican, and you're not the
No.
Middle Eastern.
We're
yeah.
simple ingredients from local farms, just cooked right. That's what we are.
So will you talk a little bit about the menu? I mean, I've eaten here and it's delicious. But
Yeah.
some of the things that are exciting to you and that
Maybe some ways it's evolving too, like some of the sort of newer things that are happening.
Yeah, I mean, we have 10 different types of mussels. We have 10 different types of flatbreads, which are awesome, and they're on a happy hour, and we sell tons and tons and tons of them. But then also we have right now we have 18 different small plates. Oysters, pork belly, bacon wrapped jumbo shrimp. Then we have patatas bravas and a lot of vegetarian stuff. But our entrees are great bistro food. We have a half-roasted chicken that is one of the best half-roasted chickens you'll ever have in your life. I stand by that.
I'll stand by that too. It's one of my favorite dishes here.
We do whole grilled fish that we've been doing. I've been doing it for a year and a half, whole grilled fish. I just think it's the greatest meal you can have. I think a whole grilled fish, and it's so simple. It's stuffed with parsley, lemon, thyme. It's with roasted potatoes, haricot vert, and a simple red wine vinaigrette. It sounds stupid simple, but if you don't cook it right, it's horrible. But a whole grilled fish is
and it looks beautiful. I mean,
looks
I
great.
have not tried it, but I've seen it on
But
another table,
people
and
have
it
been
looks gorgeous.
grilling and roasting whole fish for centuries. And there's a reason. And there's a reason it's still popular today, because it's so freaking good. Just like, shut up, cut it, take it off the bone, put it in your face. It's awesome. It's so good.
Did you say what kind of fish it was? I heard all the ingredients.
We do bronzino.
Okay.
We do bronzino. It's a Mediterranean sea bass, medium chunk, just enough, tang on it, but it's super fresh. We get them in day boat. It's awesome. And right now I'm actually rewriting the menu, and I'm kind of going to a little bit of a higher step with it. We're going to be doing a whole fried fish instead of a whole grilled fish. With some curry on it, which is a Thai curry, not powdered curry, actual real Thai curry. We're doing pork belly with a celery root puree and a milk stout ragu that I'm really excited about, and that is just incredible. People are going to love it. I'm testing out a leg of lamb roast. With
Leg of lamb roast.
Leg of lamb roast.
That doesn't sound like a small plate.
It's going to actually be a small plate.
Oh, really?
Believe it or not. It's going to be a leg of lamb roast with honey roasted butternut squash, chèvre, papitas, crispy kale, and a pear sauce. That is just...
Wow.
It's when you get the whole thing, it's pretty awesome. So I'm still playing with it, still tweaking. A menu right is always months.
Right. Well, that leads me to my next question, and I'll ask you as well, Chef Richard. When your food is, when you get going and it's evolving, like you're doing a new menu, what does that look like? Like what does that look like at Arana? I mean, do you try it out with the people in your kitchen? Do you experiment with it and see what does that look like?
For me, what happens is I'm hungry. I'm tired of eating the food that I see every day, 7 days a week, and I'm like, wow, I want something else to eat. And I look around the kitchen, and it's funny you said there's one dish that we're getting ready to put on a new menu that evolved. It's called Puck Chuck, which is a Mayan dish.
Huh.
And we have this beautiful smoker we bought when we got the restaurants. So I was trying to emulate wood-fired food, and of course we don't have the space in order to do a wood-fired grill or wood-fired oven. So I used my smoker, and I smoked some pork loins, and I cold smoked it and pounded it out. And I was like, what would go really good with this? I'll pickle some vegetables, and I had some pickled onions and some other pickled things in the restaurant, and I put that together. We've always got poblanos. for certain things. So I took that and made a sauce with that, and wound up making this dish and eating it for lunch one day. And I'm sitting there, and of course, all the staff is like, "Oh wow, chef, what's that? Looks delicious." And of course, me, I'm a food nerd. Dustin will tell you that. And I'm like, "You got to eat this, and I'll force feed you food, whether you want it or not. You taste this." And that's how my menu items evolved. Eating like, "Wow, this is good. You should put this on the menu." And that's how my menus. But I'm like Dustin. I get really excited about when you get this. It's like your child. And he's
right.
You're the grandpa, and you pull out the pictures of it. This is my third grandson.
So it's like you make something you know is amazing, and you're just like, oh, you have to eat this. And you just shove it in everybody's face. Like, you have to try this. Like, try this.
Now, any big family's got the one troubled kid, that doesn't really turn out like the rest of them. Do you have any troubled meals that you have sentimental attachments to that you keep on the menu, but they're just not working, and everybody else is trying to tell you, and you're not listening because it's like your kid? Does that ever happen?
Yes, it does. I can tell you right now, my oyster dish is that way right now.
Really?
Which one? The broiled oyster?
The broiled oysters,
Really?
That's my troubled kid right now.
Why is that a trouble?
I love it. I love it.
You love it and nobody else does.
But it's 50-50. 50% of my customers love it and go gaga for it and come back and order a second one after they get the first one.
Okay.
50% of them complain about it.
It must be oysters. I had the same problem with my oyster cocktail, the oyster ceviche.
It's BP's fault.
It's just,
It's like Katrina. We blame Katrina for everything for like 10 years. We'll just blame BP for all the oyster problems for the next 10 years. Maybe there's a grant for that. I can fix that. Yeah, I don't know.
I'll look into it.
Well, how much can you really, 50% to me, when do the numbers start becoming a problem? Because to me, you can't please everybody, and if 50% of the people love it, what? I don't know.
I mean, I think how I don't know how Rich does it. I know how I do it is right now on this menu change. I take a 4-month sample of what's selling and what's not selling, what's complaining about and what's not, and the bottom 10%.
So you track all that, huh?
Yeah, we track.
You have a database somewhere?
Yeah, we track everything.
So if I come in here and make some crazy-ass complaint about something, it's going to make it into a database.
Yeah, we'll know about it.
Do you keep my name, too? Because
we'll
then there's a way to flag it and go like, that doesn't count because Kanata complains every time he comes. He's just a complainer. Yeah.
We do our best to track everything in a restaurant.
Really?
Yeah, because it
like
helps
the
us
NSA
serve
of restaurants.
you better.
Okay.
Because if you come in and you love everything, well, we want to know. So next time you come in, maybe we already know you're coming. We know what your favorite drink is, and we have it sitting on the table waiting for you.
Really? That happens?
That's our goal. We know every time you come in, you order Old World Sazerac, and you get the bacon wrapped prawns. And your wife always gets
So when I make a reservation, that's when it does it, when you type it in. It's not if I walk off the street.
Right.
If I call in a reservation
if you do it through open
and I
table
use the
or
same
whatnot,
name that
it'll pop up. We can put it in so it pops up. And so, if it's a special occasion, we'll just have all that on the table waiting for you when you sit down.
You ever make a mistake, like there's 2 Ray Canadas running around the city or whatever, and then it's like, what are you doing? I don't want bourbon. Get this out of here. What are you doing?
Half of working in restaurants is covering up mistakes and making sure nobody knows about
screwed
it.
if your name's John Bourgeois or something, right? Because there's like 4,000 of those in town, right?
It sounds very, computer and cutting edge, but also to me it just sounds like personal care. It's just another way to keep track of your clients so that people feel special when they come back in.
Well, that's why they call it hospitality,
Yeah.
I mean, hotels do the same thing.
Yeah. I think we're, as a company, we're also very good about taking care of our guests. Even if it's not in the computer, the GM will alert the chef, or the chef will alert the GM or the server. They always let you know who's in the restaurant at that point in time. It's like, well, hey, let's make this better than the last time they were here. You always want them to enjoy themselves and walk away with a good feeling about it. It's family. It's New Orleans. It's more than just dining in the city. It's dining and being entertained and being feel like you're accepted. You want to be at that place.
So you're making a point here I hadn't thought of before, and I've heard this before from a couple other restaurants about doing this, but actually it probably improves your restaurant experience a little bit if you call it in 100%. Before instead of just walking in off the street.
Oh yeah.
Like right now this place is, it's pretty full, but there's 8 or 10 empty tables. So if I was walking by I could just walk in and get a table. But it'd probably do me well to like walk a block, just stand out in front and call it in first, a reservation, and then walk in because now I'm going to be in your database and you're going to make.
But you become on the database once you come in, too.
Yeah, I mean, we can put you in at the host stand. Like, you can go and see the hostess, and she'll put you in the database.
Yeah, but you got to ask for that or something. That seems a little goofy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it is much easier to do it, like you were saying.
But if I call it in, it's going to happen automatically.
Or go online. I mean, who isn't connected to the internet?
That's what I'm doing from now on.
OpenTable.com is a great resource, and they give you all sorts of dining
points. I feel
points.
it's unnatural. I feel like it's confining. What happens if I change my mind last minute? But you know what? I'm doing that from now on. You converted me.
Yeah,
it's happening.
It's doing
starting tonight.
The more restaurants know you and are accustomed to you as a person,
right,
the more they will start accommodating your needs before you even know that you need something.
Huh.
It's like going to your favorite bar.
Yeah.
But I have to say, like you were saying, that you get treated very well in restaurants in New Orleans traditionally, whether you call ahead or not.
That's true.
The hospitality in this city is unlike every other.
But
in
I
the
guess what they're
passion
saying
and the
is it's
food that
taking
comes
like
out
the
to
desire. Well, here's the thing: you can't treat people. I'm sorry for interrupting. You can't treat people well if you don't care about them. If you don't care about what you do.
Right.
New Orleans has that already, and this is just a way to make it a little more informed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's sort of like my wife giving me a Christmas list. I want to get her a good present, but she helps me out a little. It's like helping them help you.
Right.
Yeah, there we go.
It's a nice way to think of technology because I don't think people think of it in those terms. I mean, a diner does not, we only hear about Yelp or, I don't know.
Don't get me started on Yelp.
Yeah.
Now, how does Yelp figure into that? Do you guys monitor that, I'm sure?
You have to.
Take it with a grain of salt, I'm sure.
Unfortunately, you have to. Because it is people's opinions, as skewed and as biased as it may be.
Right.
I guess is the polite way I can say it.
It's tough. People will comment on a bad experience faster than they will on a good experience.
Yeah, if people come into your restaurant and have a bad experience, they'll tell 10 people. If they come in and have a good experience, they'll tell 2 people.
You ever catch a competitor somehow, or somebody you knew was a competitor that wrote it, just slamming you for no reason?
Not so much that. Maybe people who worked with competitors. I've seen
it's
before.
That's what you'll run into.
But
Rich is right.
It's and you just gotta blow it off. I mean, I get to the point where I've stopped reading Yelp, especially in the beginning. And now I've been informed that all of our Yelp reviews are fantastic, and I stopped reading because it's a grain of salt. It's like movie critics. You can't always trust. Oh, this movie sucked. And it wins all these awards. It's one person's opinion.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell people, go try it yourself. You don't like it, then make your own informed decision. Other than that, you're putting your trust to someone you don't know.
Right. And to me, someone that won't go somewhere because they read some extreme thing online, that's not really someone that's going out to eat and enjoy a meal anyway. They're more into something else.
Maybe they're just not happy in general. So.
Yeah.
There was a restaurant in, I think it's California, if I remember right, Italian restaurant, and they gave 15% off to anybody that gave them a horrible Yelp review.
Wait, 20% off to anyone who gave them a horrible review?
Yep.
I think he said 15.
It was kind of the restaurant's way to say F you to Yelp. Because people would just give them a 1-star Yelp review and then write this amazing review.
Huh.
And they'd be like, 20% off. Because they were just so sick of being criticized by these people on Yelp that don't actually know what they were talking about. And all the backlash of it. So they're like, fine. Anybody that comes in, you 20% off. And it was a nationwide story.
Huh.
I know it was at least in the restaurant community because we were all just
That's an interesting way to
handle it.
handle
We all were championing them, wishing that we could do the same thing. But unfortunately, it's almost like business suicide to do it.
Yeah.
Because Yelp is so big. And
I did like 700 Urban Spoon reviews back in like 2009 to 2010. I was eating in every restaurant.
Right.
And only about 1/8 of them were negative. And then I went back and I tried to erase all the negative ones, and I erased about 80% of them just because I was like, I'd rather just say positive things about the 600 restaurants I liked than say negative things about the 100 that I did.
It's like, how would you feel if I showed up at your work?
Because everybody can have
and
a bad
critiqued
day.
everything you did, not knowing a clue about your job.
Right.
I don't have a clue what you do, but I'm going to show up and I'm going to critique you on your job. It's really not very fair.
Right. Everybody can have a bad day.
Speaking of unfair, this is the part of the show where we go to off the menu, and we ask you a question that you would not be asked at any reputable job interview, or any normal person would probably ask you.
All right.
And so, Chef Dustin, my question is for you, and this comes from my 8-year-old. Okay, so it's highly intellectual. And so what he asked me, what I'm going to ask you is, what would you rather? He said a happy life that you have amnesia about, or a unhappy life. Wait, what was it?
Yeah, that's it. I think you got it, maybe. You can remember it all?
Now, it was a happy life in amnesia,
I know, he's
and
not
an
like that, I don't
unhappy life. Yeah, but I just told it to you, and you.
Yeah,
now
but
I'm confused.
I'm dim.
And an unhappy. Come on, Ray.
It's your question. I'm not going to do it. I don't know. Yeah, how about, I don't know, which would be worse? Wait, okay, unhappy life. An unhappy life, but you don't remember it, but if you're happy life, you do remember it.
It was an
that's
unhappy
obvious.
life.
Yeah, you had it right.
Unhappy life with amnesia.
You got to write these down.
Shit.
You got to write these down,
Like
Margo.
an unhappy life that you don't remember, or
I see Chris
a
editing
happy
this
life that you don't
section.
remember, or unhappy life that you do remember.
Something like that. Now, crap. It
It's
doesn't
not
sound.
unhappy life, an unhappy wife, an unhappy life. Is that?
I hope he wasn't asking me about that.
There was a movie
but-
about this once, I think.
No. Would you okay, let's just pick one. Would you rather an unhappy life that you
No, it's unhappy you can remember is how Julian said it, and a happy life that you can't remember. Because then you have happy things, but you don't remember them.
Exactly, that was it. All right.
Or you have miserable things, but you can remember them.
At the end of my life, I would rather have a happy life and not remember it than an unhappy life and remember it, without a doubt.
Okay.
There's no question.
All right. Well, that was my
See, that
answer
would be
too.
the opposite
So,
myself.
really?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
You want to have an unhappy life?
Yes, I have an unhappy life, and I also have like a photographic memory. So it's except for like for Julian's quotes. So so it's like that's my life. I think I'd rather have that than be senile. Well, I'll find out when I get older. Maybe I'll be happy when I'm senile.
But if you have a happy life and you don't remember it, you have people in your life that experience it with you, and they carry on the memory of your happy life.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. I'm big on memory, and I don't know. I'm not sure.
All right.
Well, okay.
I told you it was unfortunate
Yeah.
part of the show. All right, Chef Papier.
All right. What did I ask you last time you were on the show? Was it me or Margo that asked you the +1 question?
Ooh, I think it was you.
What did I ask you? Do you remember?
I have no clue.
All right, I'm gonna ask you one I just thought of.
It's part of that happy life, not remembering.
Yeah. That's
everything.
what it was. All right. When I was in 7th grade, I used to play a couple games when I laid in my bed and couldn't sleep all night. One of them we won't talk about because it's X-rated. I'm just kidding. But
I was about to say, are the kids listening to the show?
yeah, this is a family show. But the other one was I used to think about being stuck at a desert island, right? And I'd picture like a crate as big as my bed, and I was allowed to just bring one item of the same type in that crate. Like it'd have to be a whole crate of nails or a whole crate of rope or a whole crate of lobsters or whatever, you know? So like, all right, you're in the desert island. What food item would you bring? You got one crate full that you can bring with you to the desert island. You could be stuck there the rest of your life. What's it going to be?
Oh, man. This is sad. Heath bars.
Heath bars.
Wow, really?
Oh, man.
A whole crate of Heath bars?
Salty and sweet, man. I get this craving. Nothing in this world's better to me than getting Ben & Jerry's. Screw this. Let's do this. Ben & Jerry's Coffee Buzz ice cream, which is
pretend there's a refrigerator on
Which
the
is
side.
like crack.
Okay.
There you go. Which
Yeah.
is like crack. It's basically coffee ice cream with a Heath bar crunch in it.
Oh, that sounds
Perfect.
great.
The most perfect thing in the whole world. Hands down. Dude, I'm done. That's
Done.
it.
All right. That's a good resolute answer.
Now, have you ever been inspired to do something like encrust something with Heath bar, or I mean,
they don't have Heath bars in Mexico, do they?
Actually, they've got brittle, you know.
isn't chocolate Mayan?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
No, I think it's acid.
Man, I think I got a great idea for dessert. Maybe we'll do some kind of like pumpkin seed brittle covered with Mexican chocolate. That's a great idea. You're helping me inventing desserts right now.
Got to call it the Margot.
There you go. Call it the Margot. We'll call it the Margarita. You know?
The Margarita. Oh, my gosh.
Well, speaking of chocolate, the chicken dish,
Chicken and mole?
chicken and mole, is there chocolate in there?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, there is.
It's delicious.
Thank you.
Can you do? This is an honest question. Can you do a mole without chocolate?
Yeah, there's tons of moles without chocolate. There's mole rojo, which is a red mole. There's yellow mole. There's no chocolate in that.
No kidding. I didn't know that.
Generally it's
The only moles I've ever had have always been chocolate.
yeah, because generally people they either do Oaxacan or Puebla style of mole, and Puebla has more poblanos in it. The mole we do is kind of a cross between Puebla and Oaxacan.
You know, I've been to Puebla too.
Yeah, and poblanos are the best thing that country has right there. It's in the city of Puebla. It's like crawfish is to us. Poblanos are to Puebla.
First time I was in Puebla was the first time I had cow tongue. It was amazing.
Now, Chef Papier, you're obviously a scholar of Mexican cuisine. You have an encyclopedic knowledge of it. But your background's you're like French and Jewish, aren't you? And you're from New Orleans,
and
Russian, you're not Mexican at all, right?
No.
Okay, so how'd you learn this? Did you spend some time in Mexico, didn't you?
No, there's a place called Taqueros Coyoacan. Guillermo Peters was the chef, and I went to go work with him. It was the only Mexican restaurant in the city,
right?
And he was my mentor.
Yeah, he's kind of an erratic genius, wasn't he?
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And he kind of treated me like a son. He was kind of like the soup Nazi, but we called him the taco Nazi. He enjoys being called that. And,
good, okay.
And I just keep getting him. You know, my other half, she's Mexican. I kept finding myself in a point in my life with Katrina where I was in groups of people of Mexican descent and while talking to their grandmother or their grandfather and just soaking up as much knowledge as possible.
All right. So how long did you work for him?
Oh, several years. We started off in Kenner, moved on to St. Charles, the old Town and Country building, which is now the Irish House.
Right, I remember it there. Yeah,
did for a while, and just really got into it, man. I think every chef has a cuisine they take to. I mean, I'm sure you. What is your favorite cuisine, Dustin? That you take the most?
I prefer to go American.
Because
then you can pretty much encompass everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's kind of cheating.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of is cheating.
Sounds like you're a fish guy, though, too, huh?
I'm very old school European in my cooking. It's just what I've always loved. People call me an old soul. I'm very black pants, white coat. You know, if I could, I'd wear a toque all the time.
A toga?
Toque. It's the chef hat.
Yeah.
You know.
Toga sounds like more fun.
Toga does.
I'm like, what
but
are you doing?
I'm very old school. I'm very much like yes chef, no chef. So that's kind of what I really put my heart into when I was training.
So now, what about eating now? Because it sounds like you're eating Heath bars all the time when you're not cooking fantastic Mexican food. But like, do you guys have a favorite place to eat in New Orleans that's not part of your Three of a Kind family?
I can tell you, for me, I eat Parkway Po' Boys at least twice a week.
What's your favorite one?
Oh yeah, hands down.
Which one though? I mean, which po' boy?
Oh, probably the hot sausage link is my favorite one there.
Wow, okay. Not the most common answer. That's good.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite one there. I eat there once a week. I eat Popeyes at least once a week.
What?
How can you not eat Popeyes? I mean, how can you just not?
It's a chef thing. You always eat, garbage. I mean, I do a Wendy's chicken sandwich at least once a week.
See? Wendy's chicken sandwich.
There you go.
Come on, you guys are killing me.
This
is so disillusioning.
You don't have to cook it. It's quick and fast. The lady at McDonald's yelled at me when I worked at Emeril, going, "Baby, why are you eating this crap? You can be having lobster and steak all the time."
This is like the Pope telling me that he reads his horoscope every morning or something. It's like this is too much.
No, restaurant-wise,
lie to me.
I love Bacchanal. It was a special place
we love that
for
place,
that restaurant. The food is awesome. I love the cheese that you get to pick your own cheese board. You get to pick your own wine. That there's just something really special. What they're doing there, they're hitting all the right notes at Bacchanal.
Yeah, such a great atmosphere there too.
They're doing it. They're doing it really right. They're doing it really well right there.
Cool.
I love the entire Donald Link chain.
Oh yeah.
anything Donald puts his hands on is
No
gold.
pun intended.
You know,
Donald link
yeah,
chain.
it's kosher, butcher, pesh.
Nice.
I mean, it's just.
All right,
How about
I
some
wanna
more
get
from
back
you,
to you,
Chef?
oh, sorry,
Yeah,
go ahead.
we teased him about the Heath Bar. He got the Wendy's chicken sandwich out, and then we.
I'm gonna go with him, Donald Link.
All right.
Not only because I worked
Yeah,
at
Rich
Herb
used to
Saint,
work with him.
but Donald's been great. I mean, one of my favorite dishes of Koshan is that rabbit and dumplings that he does.
Yeah.
Can't get that. I have to go to Stein's at least once a week.
Yeah.
How could I forget?
Just talking about
Steins?
Steins to my wife today.
There you
yeah.
go. If
Yeah.
I don't get my Reuben, I'll die.
Wow.
St. James Cheese Company.
Love that
like,
place.
I'm like
Love,
Dustin. I'm
love,
like,
love it.
Maple Street Patisserie down the street now.
Yes.
Is you want a good sandwich?
Yep.
Great sandwich.
Holy crap!
Very, very good.
The corned beef.
Oh,
That's
They're
it's
Reu-
good.
oh.
Yeah, Reuben's good too. Yeah, it's great. The bagels is probably the best place to get a bagel in town too.
Huh.
I
Is
get
that
that.
on Ferret?
No, it's
No,
right here
it's
down
two
the corner
blocks
on
down.
9th Street.
Oh, it used to be Arts,
Bagel.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I haven't been.
Maple Street.
It's
oh,
good.
Go,
Back since-
Yeah.
go get a sandwich.
They have a bagel and they call it the Rich because it's the same thing I order all the time. Man, I keep it nice and kosher by adding bacon to it.
Yeah, you're right. Keep it in kosher.
Hey, but I do put capers and red onion on it, so there you go.
That neutralizes the bacon in God's eyes.
Exactly.
Well, y'all, I have so many more questions I wanted to ask y'all about your significant others and really put y'all on the spot. But we're coming to the end of the show, so I want to make sure that y'all both tell us about anything exciting coming up for the restaurants. Or,
Yeah,
you know,
you get some
besides
holiday
menu-
specials at
yeah,
Salu, don't you?
Yeah, we have this coming Saturday. We're doing our another pig roast outside. So we'll have the pig roast outside in the Cajun microwave on Saturday. We'll do that.
On the Cajun microwave.
There'll be one roasting, and I'll have one done and ready. You can walk by and grab a sandwich. You can come in the restaurant and grab a sandwich. And then for New Year's, we're doing 4 different specials. We're doing a lobster chowder. We're doing a scallop appetizer, foie gras, bread and butter, and then we're doing a full rack of lamb for dinner for New Year's.
So this is kind of a Revillon thing for Christmas, or just
no,
you're not
we don't
calling
do
it that?
It's just
Okay.
they're doing it for New Year's, just kind of going a little more upscale, so people come in like they can be all fancy and
All right.
enjoy the night.
Wonderful. And how tell our listeners the website or how to make reservations for New Year's or
The best way to make a reservation is honestly go to Open Table. Just look us up, Salu. Salu. Check us out on Facebook or on Twitter.
SALU.
SALU.
And what hours are you open? Days?
We are open from 11:30 to 10 o'clock, Monday through Thursday, and from 11:30 till 11 o'clock on Friday and Saturday. And Sundays we do brunch from 11 to 3, and then we reopen for dinner at 4. And Sunday brunch here is no joke. Get here early because the line's going to be around the corner every single week.
Okay, wonderful.
All right.
And
How
Chef
about you?
Papier, you have anything you want to?
Yeah, we got some stuff that we're working on right now. At the beginning of the year, we're going to start our brunch. Huevos rancheros. We're going to have that tostada tinga with poached egg on top of it.
Oh, man.
We're working on shrimp flautos with egg with a cascabel corn sauce on that. We're going to start doing sin nights.
Sin nights?
Service and industry nights.
Ah.
For those in the business, going to stay up a little bit later. We too are going to be doing a roast, but we're going to be doing a goat roast with a spit.
Goat roast on a spit.
Yeah,
Can you
cabrito.
see the goat? Can I
Cabrito,
watch
yeah,
the
you
gr-
can see the goat.
Wow.
It's been successful at Salu that we've decided to take a step in their direction and try that. We've got that coming up. Of course, we always have our happy hour every, Monday through Friday, just half off tacos, half off drinks. I mean, you can't beat it.
That's an insane deal. That's so great.
Yeah, and Salu's got their happy hours, it's just as good too. We've got the it's called Crazy February, which is basically the last 5 days in the Mayan calendar. I guess it's when you get to do whatever the hell you want, kind of like the Amish before they go ahead and commit to their thing.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Go out, drink.
Is it every February you do that? Or is it this one? Is this the end of
this
the end of time now or whatever?
The calendar already passed.
Yeah, that was last year, I thought.
Last year,
Okay.
2 years ago we
It was
did
a couple
that.
years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. We did a big thing here for it. Rich
Yeah, we
actually
did.
had
Yeah,
this
I did.
awesome menu for it.
It was great. My girlfriend's got a Mayan calendar on her back, and I was like, this is no good anymore. I can't plan my day anymore on your back. I gotta wait for like 3,000 more years before he equals
That's commitment. Your girlfriend got the Mayan calendar tattooed on her back when you got the job at Arana, or no?
No, before that.
So like if you're at Wendy's Corporation next, she's gonna get like Wendy on her chest or something. Is that
That would be awkward.
I got fired from Wendy's for putting W's on the McGriddles. 'Cause they thought I was doing McGriddle. Never mind.
That's another show.
Yeah.
All right. So contact information for Arana.
3242 Magazine, right next to the Bulldog, 7 days a week. We are open from 11 to 10 weekdays. At weekends, we are open from 11 to 11.
All right.
Great tequila bar, too.
Yes.
Oh,
Can't believe we
yes,
didn't even
I
talk about that.
tried that. The
we do
flight.
flights. Yeah,
The flight. It
Oh.
was, and I haven't tasted tequila in 20 years.
we are doing a tequila club also, too. So we're going to bring in special tequilas, like a little passport. So every time you come in, you try another tequila.
What happens when you get them all? You try them all.
We're talking about that.
Huh.
You die. No, I don't know.
What do you mean? Y'all keep track of the ones you've tried, like St. James
Yeah.
does.
Kinda
They
like
keep
a-
track of your cheese. You keep
Right.
track.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Like Bulldog
because
would have, they
I
put your name
can't
on a plaque
remember.
if you get
Exactly.
all 50 of their beers and so
But
forth.
I mean, just to be able to have a record of what I try, because some I liked more than others, but I can't remember what they're called after tasting 7 different tequilas. So
Yeah, it's
you-
called
you-
blackout.
You're like if you remember your name after.
So you will keep
it's
a
that
list?
thing where you can't remember the unhappy.
Yeah, I thought y'all were going to
Except
give
it's
me
all
shit
happy.
about
Yeah,
that.
that's what it
It's
is.
all
I
happy
can't even.
now.
I'm already starting the amnesia part, but I know I'm having a good time tonight, so
Great.
that's
All right.
important.
Well, our special guest tonight on Midnight Menu Plus One was Chef Dustin Brien of Salu, and his Plus One was Chef Richard Papier.
Richard.
I want to call him Richard. That sounds so cool.
Richard
with
Papier.
with Papier, yeah. I'm going to call you Richard.
We call it Ricard Juan Papels. There you go. Make it make sense.
All right, Richard Papier. If you insist.
Ooh, no.
I won't tell you what we call him.
What?
Said I won't tell you what we call him.
Here's another name for Richard.
Arana, that's all you need to know, guys. Go to Arana. And we can find out more about it by following the links on our site on itsneworleans.com. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you very much for having us.
And thanks to Petite Pet Care for loving care when you're out eating at Salu or doing a tequila flight. Contact petitepetcare.com. And also a special thanks to y'all at Salu and Greg for allowing us to interview you in your environment tonight. It's been
Yes.
fantastic.
We were really happy to do it. We're really glad you guys were able to come in.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Good night.
You know Labor Day signals the unofficial end of summer, but not the end of your outdoor projects. Lowe's helps you do it right and helps you save with Labor Day deals throughout the store. Shop now and get 2 bags of Stay Green potty mix for $12. And keep your lawn looking neat and trim with a Craftsman 2-cycle 17-inch gas string trimmer, now $20 off at just $119. Whatever's still on your to-do list this Labor Day, do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 8/28. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. U.S. only.